Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to take this 3D model, and by the end of the video I'll have a physical item that's been 3D printed. To get to that end point, I'm going to take this 3D model and export it as an STL file, and then with that STL file I'll import it into a program called Ultimaker Cura. Cura, what that will do is enable me to slice the 3D model so that the printer then prints out those sliced layers. So that's what I'm going to walk you through, and like I say, at the end of the video there'll be a 3D printed object. Now what we'll do with that object is give that over to Guymer, who will use it to create an impression in sand that he can cast silver, so thereby ending up with a unique bespoke model, a piece of art off the back of this model. So without further ado, I am going to export this model by going to File and Export, and I will be exporting as an STL file version. Now I've already done this previously, so I'm going to reuse that name, but I'll just put a new in front of it so I can identify the different model, the different STL file. And now that's done, I'm going to open up, and I'm done with Blender now. It's as simple as that. It's just exporting as an STL. I'm now going to open up Ultimaker Cura, and within Cura I'm going to File and Open. I'm going to navigate to the file that I want to import, which is the new Sex Pistols logos. This is 60mm wide along the x-axis, so I'm going to open that. Oh, and it's coming larger than anticipated, so this sometimes happens, and I can see there that I know for my own purposes I want this model to be 60mm, there or thereabouts wide, actually 61mm. So I'm going to scale this down by 10%, and so if I, with the uniform scaling ticked, then that takes it to 10%. But as you can see here, the model is off and not on the print bed. So if I bring this over to, I might actually try and just put 0 on there. There you go. If I put zeros in there in the move dimensions for the model, it's actually done what we needed to do and put it on the center of the print bed. Now before I print this out, before I slice this, sorry, I want to have a look at the print settings, and at the moment I've got a faster print. It's one of my own profiles, but this is not suitable for this type of model, and that's because of the level of detail that's in here. If I use this faster print with a faster print speed on my Ender 3 V2, what I'll end up with is some artifacts, some stringing, not enough detail, and it's not be suitable for what I'm trying to achieve here. So instead I'm going to pick the highest quality default option, which is the super quality, and that's a 0.12 layer height. I'm going to discard the changes that I've made, so I'm going to take all of the defaults out of the super quality. Now that will mean the print is slower, but because this is a relatively small 3D model, and this is a and it's shallow as well, so it's not terribly tall, we'll find that that additional quality will take more time. So it's going to take 2 hours and 47 minutes. But if I just change this to temporarily to, let's say, standard quality, you'll see that's faster. But for the sake of an hour, I'd rather have a higher quality low risk print in this instance. There'll be other models where I'll be a little bit more flexible with the quality, and that's where my faster prints custom profiles come in, because then I've got much faster speed, and the models that don't require the same level of detail. So I think your needs as to what level of detail requires and how risk adverse you are to actually getting your printout should determine the settings that you pick, especially if you're using the standard profiles before you start going into changing all of these one by one. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to 2 hours and 47 minutes. I'm going to save this to disk, and I'm going to, as you'll probably see, I like to keep all my files. So that's the Creality Ender 3v2 new Sex Pistols logo 60mm. So I'm going to save that G-code file along with the other files that I've created. So the Blender file, the exported STL files, I'm going to keep that G-code there. And the reason why I do that, and I will actually also save this project in that location as well, is when it comes down to it, if I need to get back to this, the quickest way I can do it is to, rather than having to export from Blender, import into here and mess about with all this, then I just reopen Cura and open the file that I've already exported. So this is just a way that I can save a bit of time in the future. So now if I go to that location, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that G-code file over onto an SD card that I can then insert into my 3D printer and kick off the printing. So now I'm going to take the SD card out of the computer and plug it into my 3D printer. So I'll boot up the printer. And then kick the print off. So that's just a case of preheat the PLA, and that's all that's doing is warming the print bed, warming the hot ends, the extrude. This is the Ender 3, so this is the extruder and the print nozzle and the print head all in one. But that's warming that up so that when the print starts, that the filament comes out all nice and warm. Select print, and then we'll see that this file is the one I've copied over onto the SD card. I can set print now. I'm not going to do any calibration this time because I know this is it's a quite simple model for us to print, and also the calibration's been done recently, so I'm just going to leave that to off, and I'm going to confirm that. And then when the temperature gets to 200 degrees at the hot end and 60 degrees on the print bed, then this will be ready to print. Okay then, so here we go. Printed model is now complete. just take it off the 3D printer and give this that bit of a pull to get this off. Right. So off the printer, this is looking really good. There's a few elements of stringing which need a little bit of tidying up, but otherwise this is all set and ready for being used for as an impression for the sand casting and then pouring silver into it. So yeah, really happy with that. Guy will be able to do some good work with this, I'm sure. And yeah, I think it's a some really nice detail that's been captured as part of the print process. A nice flat surface. Yeah, I think that's going to work out really well. So if you enjoyed what we've done here, please like the video, subscribe, and we'll be doing more content like this. Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.